Hello students, I'm Dr. Arpita Dey. Welcome back to my developmental biology classes. Today we will learn about amphibian metamorphosis. I have divided the lesson into two lectures. So let's get started. Before we plunge into the main course, let's learn a little about larvae. When larvae and adults possess the same basic body plan, we call it a secondary larva. This is found in amphibians. On contrary, if the body plan of the adult and larva differs, then we call it a primary larva, which is found in sea urchin. The adult frog is meant for terrestrial existence, but the larva, that is a tadpole, is meant for aquatic existence. Though they are meant for two different modes of existence, their basic body plan is very similar. That is why we call it secondary larva. We will emphasize on amphibian metamorphosis here. That means we will basically emphasize on the changes that occur in this secondary larval form. So now let's come to metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is always unidirectional. That means what? The larva can change or metamorphose into an adult form, but the adult form cannot switch back to the larval form. It is unidirectional. This unidirectional process is accompanied by morphological, physiological, and behavioral changes. Apart from these morphological, physiological, and behavioral changes, we also get to see reactivation of developmental processes that ultimately prepares the organism for a new mode of existence. This new mode of existence is something which is the result of metamorphic changes. The metamorphic changes will transform the larva into an adult. The plethora of changes are categorized into growth of new structure, cell death, remodeling of biochemical uh, remodeling, then biochemical respecification, hormonal control, etc. Here we will only study these three topics: growth of new structures, cell death during metamorphosis, and remodeling during metamorphosis. The rest will be taken up in the following lecture. So now let's quickly see the name of the main player in this journey of metamorphosis. Metamorphic changes are brought about by thyroxine or T4 and triiodothyronine or T3 hormones that reach all larval organs through blood. The organs respond in any of the four ways: growth, death, remodeling, and respecification. Now let's come to each of the previously mentioned topics. Let's start with growth of new structures. The three new structures that emerge are limb, nictitating membrane, and eyelids. T3 induces adult specific organs to grow. Blocking the cascade of reaction governed by T3 will result into formation of no neurons and will ultimately result in limb paralysis. T3 induces proliferation and differentiation of new neurons to serve the newly formed organs. So you can understand how important is T3. If by chance the T3 hormone is blocked, what will happen? There will be no new neurons that will form. T3 forms neurons and axons to serve the newly formed organs. These new neurons proliferate and differentiate in the spinal cord as the limb grows out from the body axis. So, the cascade of reactions governed by T3 will have to be kept undisturbed in order to see the metamorphosis from tadpole to adult frog. Then we'll come to the position of eyes. The laterally positioned eyes in the tadpole changes to frontally located ones. The typical laterally positioned eyes are they are extremely typical of preyed upon herbivores, whereas the frontally located eyes of the frog is meant for predation. This helps them to acquire a binocular field of vision, which helps them to see properly and go for predation. Next, we will come to cell death during metamorphosis. T3 induces larval specific structures to die. How is this death taking place? Resorption of tail takes place by apoptosis and phagocytosis. Apoptosis, you all know, is a suicidal death, and the first part of the tail resorption is caused by apoptosis, but the last remnants of the tadpole tail is killed off by phagocytosis. This is perhaps because the extracellular matrix that supported the muscle cells has been digested by proteases. Apoptosis in the muscle cells is brought about by T3. This apoptosis inducing hormone caspase 9 plays the key role here. Next, we'll come to degeneration of oxygen procuring gills. As I have just now said, the larva is meant for aquatic lifestyle, but the toad or the adult frog is meant for terrestrial lifestyle. So, the oxygen procuring gills are no longer required in the adult organism since it is no longer living in water. So, the organ that is no longer needed gradually degenerates. So, this oxygen procuring gills will degenerate. And the last change that we see here is tadpole hemoglobin changes to adult hemoglobin. This adult hemoglobin uh, has got a very significant role here. It binds oxygen more slowly and releases it more rapidly. The larval red blood cells are specifically digested or eaten up by the macrophages in the liver and spleen. Now, finally, we'll come to the remodeling during metamorphosis. Larval structures are remodeled for adult needs. The structures that were there in the larva are no longer needed. They will be remodeled to serve the needs in the adult. The larvae generally feed on uh, plants, small little tiny aquatic plants that are available. So, the coiled intestine in larva is meant for herbivorous diet. But once it becomes a predator, it will not depend on herbivorous diet any longer. It will go for carnivorous diet. And for this carnivorous diet, it needs shorter intestine. New cells are formed, and the new cells of the adult intestine are derived from the functioning cells of the larval intestine. The new ones do not develop from a subpopulation of stem cells, but they are derived from the functioning cells of the larval intestine. Next, we'll come to the skull structure, remodeling of the structure of skull. Tadpole skull is primarily neural crest derived cartilage, whereas the adult skull is primarily neural crest derived bones. The entire structure is getting remodeled. This is evidenced by the following points as well. The gills and pharyngeal arch cartilage degenerate. These are no longer needed. Instead, what forms? Lower jaw forms. Merkel's cartilage grow and dermal bone forms around it. Then you get to see the change in this lateral line system. Lateral line system, you all know what is the function of lateral line system. The lateral line system helps in hearing and sense the water movement. The tympanic membrane is developing. This will help the adult frog to hear. So why does it need this lateral line system? The lateral line system is no longer required and thus it degenerates. Finally, we see cells innervating tongue muscle are dormant. The tadpole doesn't have a tongue. So the cells innervating the tongue muscle, they remain dormant. Once it becomes an adult, you must have all seen the anteriorly attached tongue in the frog. So that is supported by very strong muscles and bones. The dormant larval nerve cells innervating the tongue muscle from their form their first synapse during metamorphosis. So this is very, very important. Other than this, other cartilage such as the ceratohyle cartilage, which is meant for anchoring the tongue, is extensively remodeled. So from this lecture, I hope you can understand that huge number of changes undergo in the body of the organism. All these changes together help in transforming the tadpole to an adult frog. So this is how we come to the end of this lecture. Thank you so much for your kind attention. We will be back soon with our second part of the lesson. If you have liked this video, like this lecture, please do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. So, goodbye and see you soon.